What is going on today, guys? Welcome to the Music Plugin Choice Awards. Really? Is that the name we're going with? Aside from that just being a bad name, I think we might get sued for that. Okay, sorry. So we'll be talking about the best and worst music plugins of the year, as well as some other nominations. I'm gonna be honest with you today, guys. This has been a pretty year for music production plugins. Probably one of the on record. I almost canceled the show this year, but I needed to make a video, so enjoy your content. But yeah, the reason why I say that is there just has not been a lot of groundbreaking plugins or too much groundbreaking plugin technology. Some slight improvements here and there. Overall, just disappointing. Yeah, for now, let's get into it. That's your cue. Do the thing.
Joking to me?
We're very prepared here.
Here, read these.
In our first category, we have best plugins. Now keep in mind, I'm talking about plugins that came out this year or they had a major upgrade of a version this year, whether it was free or paid. Shaperbox 3.5, that doesn't count. Synplant 2, that does count. For anyone who's wondering how am I doing this right now, I have my green screen tied to my fan. Yeah, crackhead stuff, guys. I also have my girlfriend tied up behind me.
Help!
You have to watch the whole way in order for me to let her go. You're gonna live with that? You wanna feel guilty? You better watch. Okay, speaking of Synplant 2, they are getting our first award. Wow. Definitely a really interesting plugin. It definitely had me quite a bit more interested before it was actually released. When it was released, I was still a bit interested. I still thought it was pretty good. The Geno patch, pretty good stuff. Might be like, Weaver, you said it was overrated. Yeah, instead of being the greatest thing ever, I think it's pretty good. Not backtracking. I'm holding firm on that. Overrated, but still good. But essentially, people were saying it could remake any sound, and it could not remake any sound. It could remake a lot of basic sounds. Still really good, though. Great technology put into it. I enjoyed it. Just not as much as I thought it would. What I really found special about it was the Geno patch. The ability to, copy other sounds and quite often remake the sound, either verbatim or pretty close. Then you have a bunch of different options, but like I said, not able to do quite a few sounds. So maybe Synplant 3 will feature the ability to work with wavetables or something. That would be next level. Okay, so our next award goes to Smart EQ 4. It recently just came out, so I was a little bit weary about putting it on here. Can you guys tell we're a little bit desperate for nominations here? Or awards? Whatever. I'm just saying that it's not good. It hasn't been that good this year, man. I'm desperate here, all right? Can you tell I'm desperate? In the newest version of Sonable's EQ, not only does it EQ a specific track, depending on what instrument it is or what instrument you label it as, but it makes instruments work together. Basically, it does cross-channel mixing, and you can, put certain ones more up front, certain other ones further back, and you can basically build a hierarchy of how you want your mix EQ'd. Now, will it completely mix your track from start to finish? No. Could it help though? Yes. I will say this though, it makes Neutron look kind of dumb. Also, for the price of what it costs, it makes Neutron look kind of dumb. Sorry, Isotope, no awards for you today, guys. Maybe it's because the AI technology in Ozone is kind of bad. I'm just not impressed. So there are definitely some issues with this plugin. It's far from perfect, but like I said, we're desperate. God damn it. Sorry, guys, the show's a wrap. We've totally up here. We're gonna have to start over. It is far from perfect though. To give an example, I had a melody group which I had cross-channel mixing with each other, then a group with drums which was cross-channel mixing as well, but they were in their own groups and they could not communicate with each other. I don't know, there's just some dumb limitations about it, okay? But it still shits on Neutron, so that's all that matters. In our next award here, I will be giving this to Minimal Audio's Current. Yeah, it's a shock to me too. I didn't think I'd be giving this award to them this year. Yeah, one of the best plugins. Now this one I slept on originally when it came out, and that was on purpose. It was not an accident. Normally when people sleep on things, it is an accident. This was on purpose. For those of you that don't know, Minimal Audio essentially committed a plugin war crime earlier this year. So before releasing this plugin, they didn't tell anyone it was going to be subscription only, which is not that big of a deal. But they did not tell the influencers who were making content around it. They were making tutorials, reviews, etc. Did not tell them the price point or that it was going to be subscription only. So they basically did not know that while making this content. Then they released it and found out it's subscription only. So they f***ed them in the ass. Now you may ask, Well, that's weird. Why didn't the influencers ask how much does this thing cost that I'm reviewing? Yeah, I don't fucking know either. But everyone here fucked up essentially. But I guess that's beside the point because minimal audio fucked up more so in my opinion. Basically, they apologized for it more so to consumers than the influencers. They did apologize to the influencers, but not really in a way that makes sense. They did release a perpetual version as well. Basically, it left a taste in my mouth when they kind of screwed over these influencers. It wasn't me in particular, but I just thought it was a move from a company. So they also unlisted their apology video, which I feel like isn't a good look. Not sure what to make of that personally. Basically, because of that, I swore off from using this plugin, and I decided to use it recently, and I was actually pretty surprised. It is a pretty powerful synthesizer that also has really great sounds on their cloud. Basically, think of Kyle Beats Sandbox plugin, but not a complete piece of shit. Now, apparently the reason why they planned a monthly subscription service is because of the sounds that they have on their cloud, and they're very high quality sounds. They're not just putting anything on here, at least from what I can tell. This thing has excellent presets. I'm pretty sure the best out of any synth out there. I may be wrong though, I haven't tried all of them. Basically the most pristine neuro and resounds that I found on any synth that I didn't have to make myself. I was also able to make a really good granular pad like immediately from scratch. I was actually so impressed I might actually pay for it after this. I'm using the trial. Don't worry guys. I'm not saying I've stole it. I don't think you can steal it at the moment anyways. It has a chord feature as well that is pretty interesting. Like I said, it's kind of like Kyle Beats Sandbox, but not a box of garbage. I'm almost positive they saw Kyle Beats Sandbox plugin earlier this year and were like, wow, that is bad. We could do a lot better. The next winner of the best plugin of the year is Serato Sample 2. It's not a good year for plugins. I don't know how that ended up in here. Basically, they only added stem separation. It did make it quite a bit better though, but plugins are going out sad, man. They're going out sad. I honestly think what is going on is we've just reached a point where there's not much left to add. We've kind of got some AI technology going on here, but it's not really to a point where it's like insane yet. Our next category is the honorable mentions. These are plugins that I almost put on here, but you know, I didn't. I just didn't. You know, I thought about putting Pro R2 on here, but really all they added was impulse response. It's a reverb, man. Like what am I supposed to do with it at this point? I mean, they added a feature that other reverbs have had for a long time. Best plugin of the year? I don't know. No. They also added a couple algorithms as well as Atmos mixing. I don't know. It's kind of hard to get excited about it though, if I'm being honest. Also, I didn't want to put Ozone 11 on here. Not that it's bad, but there's just still so many issues with it. And I feel like they're just adding more nonsense modules. Some of them are kind of cool. They're okay. But nothing is like really like, wow, I can't believe they added this. You know, sometimes Ozone feels like it has fake AI. For instance, the Master Assistant, it's constantly replicating a lot of moves that I feel like it shouldn't be doing, like the stereo imager. Like, I still don't get why it will make the low band really wide. It does this often too. Like, why? Why is it doing that? It just feels like it chooses random settings. You know, Transit, it's okay. Definitely a bit overhyped. Maybe I'm not a big fan of it because I don't know how often I'm going to use it for transitions. Usually when I want to do a transition in a beat or a song, I have an idea for what I want to do and I just manually do it. And as a multi-effect for non-transitions, you know what I'm going to say. You know, I'm not going to say it. You know what I'm going to say right now. I'm not going to say it. I wanted to put Ultimate Vocal Remover 5 on here, but I don't think that came out this year. But definitely good stuff. Then also that excellent Audio Life plugin. Just okay. It's just okay. Once again, overhyped. Only found it useful for vocal chops. It just doesn't sound organic to me when you're chopping percussion with it. I was going to mention UVI Falcon 3 here, but honestly, I just haven't used it. Everyone else says it's good. Haven't used it. They don't have a free trial. It costs a bunch of money. I'm not buying it to find out if I like it or not. Hey, UVI, offer demos. Quit being a little I'm calling you out right now. Why don't you have a demo? What, you're scared people are going to crack it? They've cracked the older versions. You think they're not going to crack this version too? You're not special. Okay, now my favorite time of the night. We're going to talk about the worst plugins. Yes, the ones that are so bad they're worth being mentioned here. Kyle Beats Sandbox plugin. When that thing dropped, it was a buggy loaded, and then it didn't even have an undo function. Just bad. Plus, it was subscription only at first. And then he like was kind of like going back on it in the comments. It's just bad. It's made by 2 people. It's not good. It's just not good, man. They try to do way too much with too few people. And basically Current did what they were trying to do, but a million times better. So I'm sorry, Kyle. Did I mention it doesn't sound great either? Okay, this one is my favorite. Well, least favorite, I guess you could say. Systema 2. It's not like a super well-known plugin. It's just one of the ones I focused on that was heavily AI featured. You basically type in a prompt and then it will give you a sound, but it's not really capable of doing much. It's just not good. It's basically representative of this whole AI issue where there's people making fake AI plugins or like lazy AI plugins that don't really do what they say they're trying to do. It's just like, you know, a buzzword and people trying to hype it up, maybe make it look good in a video. And on top of that, it costs $150. No, stop it. Now, obviously, I don't have time to check out every terrible AI plugin or gimmick. So this one's just representative of all of them. Not that all AI plugins are bad, but all the ones that are doing this fake garbage. To give you an example here, I typed in neurobase on it, and then it gave me just a basic waveform back. Funky neurobase. Yeah, it's gonna be a no for me. Basically, if you're a buyer, beware. There's tons of bullshit like this out there. $150, no. Now, I know some of you guys are expecting me to mention MIDI Wizard 2, but honestly, while MIDI Wizard 1 was awful and insanely overpriced for what it was, MIDI Wizard 2 is definitely a step up. Still overpriced, but it's better than it was, for sure. It's honestly, though, what MIDI Wizard 1 should have been. Now, Ass Dragon, on the other hand, it's called Bass Dragon Weaver. Yeah, that one's just narrowly escaping by the skin of its teeth. You're lucky it's not on this list. It was this close. LOL Comp fits in with these plugins as well. It's just goofy, it's overpriced, it's just compression. I can't believe there are influencers on here shilling that shit. Why? Stop it. You know, I get it's like a little, it's funny though, man. It's got like little emojis and it's like LOL Comp, like the acronym. Yeah, $150 joke. That's hilarious. That's good. Can you do things with these plugins? Yeah, sure. Is it something I'd recommend you spending your money on? No. Okay, now I have some much more fun awards to give out. Okay, first up, we have hardware that looks the most like a bomb. You heard that right. Or we could also name this one, hardware you should not take anywhere else. Now, this category was specifically created for Woovbox. I mean, look at this thing here. If you take this to an airport, the CIA will have you stripped butt naked, confessing to every crime that you have never committed. Apparently, some people like this thing. I can't say I get it, though. Most expensive table. You already know what I'm going to say here. Teenage Engineering, come up and get your award. Teenage Engineering was selling a $1,200, $1,300 basic IKEA table. I mean, it's not illegal, but why? Now here's the award for biggest scam. Now this scam wasn't actually committed this year. It's a scam that's been ongoing for 3 years now. So Subpack was taking pre-orders for the X1 and C1. I believe they started in 2020 and they basically haven't delivered it. People have sent them money in 2020, I believe like the beginning or middle of 2020. There's more delays. They make promises, more delays. It's probably happened like 50 times at this point. Still hasn't shipped out. People are complaining. They're talking about filing a class action lawsuit. It's not good. It's kind of sad too, because Subpack has been pretty good in the past, it seems like. So I didn't expect them to go out like this. Anyways, Subpack expected to be delivered 2042 or something. Don't worry, you guys holding out for it. You're gonna get it, just not for, you know, like 20 years. Biggest music production company blunder. Yeah, it's kind of a long one. I couldn't decide who should get this award. It's definitely between Waves and Minimal Audio. Both of them did a blunder that included a subscription plan and not telling people that they were making a subscription plan for their product or products. Now, if you want to have a subscription plan for your product or products, it's not an issue. The problem comes in when you only provide that option or when you just change it to that option overnight without telling people you're going to do that. In my opinion, the biggest problem is not even that you don't own the products or the amount of money it costs. It's actually that you will use these in your projects that you're working on, whether it's something you're mixing or making a beat. You know, you're going to open it up a few months down the road and then, oh, my sub ran out. Oh man, I'm going to have to buy it again. It's basically just a trick to get you to pay for it infinitely, even if you're not continuing to use it. But anyways, Waves Audio specifically changed to subscription only overnight. One night they were just like, I need some money. Subscription only? Yeah, I don't see why not. Let's subscription only. That sounds good. But basically, they walked it back after like a week or two. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. And then Minimal Audio, I explained it earlier. They didn't tell people their product was going to be subscription only. But the bigger issue was that they didn't tell the influencers that they gave the product to early that it was going to be subscription only. They didn't really even provide a good explanation for that part of it. So I don't know. I'm still kind of sketchy on them. My producer is sending me memes right now instead of helping me with my show. Now, award for most controversial. I got to give this one to Scalar EQ. Really bizarre plugin. When I look at what it's doing, I'm just like, this can't be right. This they did not teach me this in engineering school. Not that there's nothing wrong with a harmonic mixing or like, you know, picking frequencies that work with the pitch of your song or key of your song. But look at it. It makes a bunch of spikes. It's fucking weird. Nothing sounds particularly wrong with it. It sounds kind of colorful. I kind of like it. But I'm just kind of sketchy on it, so it's controversial for me, in my opinion. Doesn't cost too much, though, so that's a plus, I guess. Okay, that is it for the award show, guys. Like I said, pretty disappointing this year. This is really all I could find as far as good, bad, controversial, random shit. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. If I get to 50K subs by the end of the year, I'm going to shave my eyebrows. That's not a gimmick. I was gonna get there anyway next year, but I want it to be content for you guys. It's not because I really want to shave my eyebrows. All right, I really want to shave them. Let me welcome my producer on stage here.
Oh, you can see the body.
Yeah, those are pants. See, I told you, I've been holding her hostage. If you press the like button, I will set her free. I'll see you guys next time.
Band Incorporated.